Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our next episode of Common Sense Co-Parenting. Consistency, consistency, consistency. We cannot make progress in life without it, right? This also applies to our co-parenting relationships. So tonight we're going to get into this topic. I'm Dr. Jerry Johnson, the creator of Common Sense Co-Parenting. My mission is to empower parents to navigate the complexities of co-parenting with clarity, compassion, and collaboration while ensuring a nurturing environment that centers on the well-being of the child above all else. The theme for this particular characteristic is a little bit interesting. But let me kind of backtrack a little bit. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and engage in the comments whenever you feel comfortable to do that. But if you are not new to this channel, you know that there are 5 characteristics for effective co-parenting that I have talked about in previous episodes. We've covered 4 of them in the last 10 episodes. We've covered strategies and actions for those strategies that you can use for each of those characteristics. And tonight, this is the last characteristic that we're going to talk about in the framework. And then I'm going to start bringing on some guests to the show that go along with these characteristics. So in episodes 1 through 10, if you're new to the show, even if you're not, let's review them a little bit. Let's review them quickly. We had communication as a characteristic, confrontation, we had collaboration, and we had cadence. And tonight we are going to talk about consistency. In this episode, we're going to talk about strategies because this is kind of like the format that I've been using, strategies. And remember, our strategies are kind of like our framework or our plan for what we're going to do in the area of consistency within our co-parenting. And then in the next episode, we will talk about actions that are the missing links to help us have success with our strategies. So I just wanted to review that really quickly. Before we go on, why does consistency in co-parenting matter? I just wanted to give you a little bit, a tidbit, because all of these characteristics matter in co-parenting, but consistency in co-parenting, just to give you a definition, kind of means that the parents agree and enforce shared rules, routines, and expectations for their children across both households. So this helps the child or the children feel more secure. And we talked about that safety piece last time. It reduces like the confusion of what's going on, at each household, the anxiety our kids might feel, and it reduces conflict as well. If we have consistency in what it is we do, how it is we behave, things that we say with our children, as well as with each other as co-parents. That's very important that we as the adults model for our children what consistency looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like for us when someone is consistent with us. And I'm sure we all know we typically don't like inconsistency in people's behaviors, especially if the behaviors don't match the words. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and start with some strategies that go along with building that consistency within your co-parenting relationship. All right. So, number 1, I kind of like to, think about catchy phrases for things sometimes if you guys haven't picked that up yet. But number 1 is kind of like you decide your vibe. You and your other parent decide your vibe. So you decide what kind of co-parenting style you want to have. Your co-parenting style may not be the same as somebody else's. So getting advice from other people is nice, but just like a marriage, a relationship, a friendship. Advice is nice, but it may not necessarily apply to your situation because everybody's different, right? So you decide your vibe on what your parenting, co-parenting style is going to be like. And there's typically three styles of co-parenting. It's either going to be cooperative, it's either going to be conflicted, that means you're constantly having conflict, or it's going to be what they call parallel co-parenting. So let me explain all three so you can understand. This is a strategy. This is kind of like a plan that you're going to have to make, a framework that you're going to have for your co-parenting relationship. Decide your vibe. Cooperative means that the parents work together, like for the best interest of the child. That means that you're going to talk consistently, which I've been talking about. You get along with each other. You align expectations for both households. Disciplinary type tactics, your disciplinary tactics are going to be the same. This is like the best case scenario that you can get. This is what I say my ex-husband and I have gotten to as my daughter has become older. We did not start out like this. Don't think. Most people don't start out like this. Most people don't start out like this, okay? So if you're not there yet, that's perfectly okay. You can move through stages. The next type of co-parenting style is conflicted. This is not good. This is not good to be in this space, but sometimes this is where we start out, especially at the end of breakups, divorces, things like that. That means there's constant fighting, there's poor interactions, there's lack of cooperation. You can't agree on anything. Like it could be because of one parent just doesn't want to be cooperative, or it could be both of you all going at each other. And you really need to decide to move yourself out of this conflicted type of co-parenting. Okay. This is if every time you all switch the child or the child switches households or something, you're arguing, you're fussing, you're fighting. If every time, the child is over at the other parent's house, someone's calling somebody to be disrespectful and all this type of stuff, you do not want to be in this conflicted co-parenting style for long. You will get stuck there. This is not a good choice. So you need to decide to totally emotionally disconnect from this other person and put that emotional responsibility, or let's say emotional deposits, into your child rather than being worried about what the other co-parent is doing. You do not want to stay in the conflicted co-parenting style, even though it does happen. The last type of co-parenting style is parallel. Now, this parallel style is just like my hands are parallel right now, but they're not touching, right? They're not touching. This means that there may be some high conflict situations that are going on with one particular parent that causes you to have to minimize direct interactions and things like that. And that's fine. This arrangement strictly focuses on your relationship with your child, not the focus on your relationship with the co-parent. All right. The difference between parallel and cooperative is that both relationships are being focused on at the same time. We want them to be healthy. We want them to be, not non-toxic. We want them to be happy if you can get there. We want us to be cordial with each other. So, but in this parallel situation, you agree on certain decisions, important decisions for your child. You have separate parenting styles, which most people do anyway. You have separate schedules and separate routines at your households. That means that, I've said this before, there's been times where my daughter has said she lived in two separate households with the way that they were run and all of that. Although her father and I grew to have a more of a cooperative co-parenting style, my daughter still felt like she was in this parallel co-parenting situation. All right. Where my relationship with her was focused on when she was with me. Her relationship with her father was focused on when she was with him. He and I didn't have to talk so much, but that's because we got to a point to where our cadence was so strong and so predictable and so stable that we didn't have to talk much. So we were in a conflicted for a while. We moved to parallel for a while, and now he and I are at the cooperative. But you yourself have to decide, you and your co-parent, what's your vibe right now? Like, where are you right now? And how do we begin to plan for consistency within that? Okay. That's strategy number one. Decide your vibe. You're going to choose a co-parenting style. All right. Strategy number two is that we need to promote mental and emotional stability for everyone in this situation. It's not just for the parents, it is also for the children, especially for the children, because they're going to school, they're dealing with all these other, trying to navigate all these personalities, all these expectations, stuff like that, while you're going to work, you're trying to navigate all these personalities, expectations. You guys are both going through the same thing. So we need to make sure that just as important as the physical health is, that we focus on mental and emotional health. We don't do this enough. At each household, the child or the children should feel like they are loved. They should feel like they are supported. They should feel like they are valued. And so should you. So when we talk about, I put a roof over your head, and that's what I needed to do as a parent, that is not all that you need to do. We are more than just the physical. You can provide the physical safety, you can provide the roof over the head and all of that. Food on the table, okay, that's good. But the mental and emotional stability of everybody involved is highly important. Because if you are not mentally and emotionally stable, it is going to start to affect your physical. A lot of disease begins because of mental and emotional instability. You allow that stress to get to you. You allow things to roll around in your head rent free. You allow thoughts to become your actions and your behaviors that are not appropriate. Okay? So we need to take our mental and our emotional stability and make it just as important as our physical health. It's okay to look good on the outside, but if inside you are in turmoil every day in your head, that does not matter. You can drive the nicest car. We have seen it. We see it now playing out in front of us every day. Nicest car, nicest job, high ranking officials. She looked good, got all the work done, got the BBL, got all this. And mental is jacked up. Emotionally jacked up. Can't handle any level of stress, can't be emotionally stable in situations, just want to pop off. That's not good, y'all. Our mental and our emotional stability, once again, is just as important as our physical health. It impacts our physical health. So all that other stuff is nice. Roof over the head, you got a little cash, you got a nice little car, whatever. But we need to get our mental and our emotions together. Emotional intelligence nowadays is really low. That's a self-awareness that you have. A lot of us can't take accountability, but let's get on top of that. Okay. So that's another strategy, is that we need to promote mental emotional stability for our children. Even if you have to have the school help you with this and request services for your child, if at all possible, because you see that emotionally and mentally they are not doing well. If the school requests it and says that it's needed, take it. They are trying to help. Many times it's not just about labeling, it is about they are trying to help your child have coping mechanisms for dealing with schooling, if that is where you want them to be. All right. So, number one, choose your vibe, choose your co parenting style. Number two, you need to promote mental and emotional stability for you and everybody that's involved in this co parenting situation. Even if it's people that you have your child around that's keeping them every day after school or before school or picking them up, those people need help with being mentally and emotionally stable as well. They are modeling that for your child. They're helping raise your child. You got to make sure that they're ready for it. All right. So, number three, establish a daily, weekly, and monthly routine or routines with your co-parent. So we discussed this a little bit in our cadence episode. And when I talk about establishing these routines, remember we talked about predictability. So we're going to discuss a few more actions in this area, all in the next episode. But we want to make sure that we establish this daily. What are we doing? Once again, daily. What are we doing when we get ready for school, get out there for school, come home from school, before we go to bed, those types of routines. Weekly. What are we doing on the weekends? You know, what's the weekend schedule looking like? Monthly, I talked about the monthly calendar that I used to create with my daughter's activities on them, or school activities, or what have you, that she was involved in. So be sure this is important for consistency as well. The consistency in this sets up your cadence, or the cadence that you set should help you with consistency. It all plays together. You need to make sure that you calendar, that you discuss, that you talk about these things with your co-parent. All right. So establishing that daily, weekly, and monthly routine is going to help you with cadence, like how often we do that, all of that, how much we talk, all of that. And cadence, if you want to do it backwards, we talk about how much we talk, we talk about how many times they're going to be able to go, to the zoo in a month, or how many, games they have in a month, or what have. If you talk about cadence, then that should help you with consistency as well, because everybody knows the schedule. Everybody is aware of the schedule. Everybody is aware of the dates, times, who's taking who's picking who up, what visitation days you have, what visitation days I have. Everybody is aware of the weekly, daily, monthly schedules. And that will help us be more consistent and provide predictability for our child, which in turn provides what? Safety. Okay, we all want to feel safe. That is a basic need of ours, is feeling safe. Physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, safe. All right. So this is a short video on strategies because I'm going to go into a longer video for actions for these strategies next week. But let's recap. Our number one strategy was you decide your vibe, your co-parenting style. Are you going to be cooperative? Are you in a state of conflict? Is your co-parenting style conflicted right now? Or are you going to do parallel parenting? Remember, you can move through all of these different styles of co-parenting as your co-parenting relationship goes on. So as you get older, as you all get more comfortable in your communication, all that type of stuff, your co-parenting style may change. My ex-husband that and I did. So we went from being conflicted after divorce to being parallel pretty much. And then we went to being more cooperative with each other, which is where we have landed now. However, my daughter is 23, and we have been co parenting since my daughter was 8 months old. Long time, y'all. So it's a process, it's a journey. It ain't about the destination. It is a journey that you're going to have to take. Don't think everything's going to be all, peaches and cream from the beginning. Most of the time, it gets worse before it gets better. But you need to decide what your co parenting style is right now. And I'm going to talk about some actions for what you can do in the next episode. Number two was we need to promote mental and emotional stability and health just as much as we promote the physical health. Because if our mental and our emotional state is not correct, it's not healthy, it's going to begin to affect your physical. You may look down and wonder, why am I gaining weight? Why am I always irritable? Why is my face breaking out? Is it because of your co-parenting relationship, maybe? The stress of it? Because we can't get it together? A lot of things. Why is my hair falling out? I've heard of people's hair falling out. Oh my God, that is too much. Too much. So let's promote emotional and mental stability amongst everyone in this co-parenting relationship, even if it's caretakers, especially our children. If someone wants to help you and get them some emotional or some mental help, let them help. We're talking about helping the child. Okay. It's a tough road for a lot of us, y'all. And our children typically take the brunt of it. They didn't choose this. If they need support, give them the support. All right. Number three is make sure that you have a daily, weekly, and monthly setup, daily, weekly, monthly routines with predictability. That means that the same thing happens daily, weekly, monthly. The same thing might happen. We might have games on the same days. We might have practices on the same days. Our parent teacher conferences may be on, different days or something like that. But let's set that up so that we know what's going on daily, routine, weekly, and monthly for our children. All right. Now, If any of this in this short video has hit home with you at all, please like and subscribe for the next video that's going to come out next week. And we'll be talking about actions within these 3 strategies that I talked about for growing, creating, and creating consistency in your co-parenting situation. We cannot, and I can hear somebody saying it already, we cannot blame everything on our co-parents all the time. We have to try, okay? And just like in that conflicted co-parenting style that we talked about, sometimes it is one parent that does not want to cooperate, just does not want to do what you ask them to do or how you ask them to do something. Then maybe we just need to move to the parallel co-parenting situation. We'll get into that next week. Okay? All right. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I'm going to put my link tree in the description box. I do have co-parenting merchandise that I have created if you guys would like to buy a t-shirt or something like that. And then I will also put in my link tree, there's also ways to contact me and on LinkedIn and on Instagram. So if you guys ever want to check me out in those 2 places, you are welcome to. But as always, I'm going to sign off by saying, go out there and co-parent with a purpose. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.